Hey guys, so between today and Wednesday, you're going to be working on a review to prepare for our common assessment on Thursday. So the common assessment on Thursday mostly is covering rational numbers, meaning we're adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing positive and negative numbers. Something that is important to remember is the difference between when you use your tricks, okay? So if we remember back to all of our studies these past couple of weeks, so if we are adding and subtracting integers, meaning positive and negative numbers, then we're going to use the song, right? Same sign, add and keep, different sign, subtract. Keep the sign of the biggest one, then you'll be exact. So adding and subtracting, we're looking at the biggest number. All right. If we are multiplying or dividing, we use our tricks. So we either have tic-tac-toe, Dorito Man, Ted, whichever one it is that you prefer. So that's multiplying and dividing, okay? If we add or subtract decimals, we're going to line them up and fill in zeros, okay? If we are multiplying or dividing, then we do it based on the numbers. Let's see, 8.1 times 2.56. So based on the numbers to the right of the decimal. So I have one number to the right of the decimal here and two here. So that's three numbers to the right. So in my answer, I'd move 1, 2, 3 to the left, okay? And then when you're dividing, if I have 5.6 and I have, let's say, 20, okay? I have to make this number on the outside a whole number. So I moved it one place, and now I need to do the same thing on the inside. So move it one place and move it to the top. Now, what about with fractions? So a lot of you don't like fractions, and it's okay most of the time to change them to decimals. But if you have one that's like a third, that's a repeating, you have to do it in decimal form. So if you're adding and subtracting, you need to find a common denominator. All right, so for example, if we have 1/3 and 3/4, well, those can both become 12. So here I have 3 times 4 gets me 12, so I have to multiply the top by 4 too. So 1 times 4 is 4, and then down here I have 4 times 3 is 12, so 3 times 3 is 9, and then you would add the numerators and keep your denominator. If you hit this point where you have an improper fraction, to change an improper fraction to a mixed number, we divide, 1, 12, subtract, and you stop here at the decimal point. This one is my whole number. This one is my numerator, and I keep the denominator, okay? So that's adding and subtracting fractions. The next piece is multiplying and dividing, okay? So if you're multiplying a fraction, if I have like 1.5 times 3/4, with either multiplying or dividing, you do need to change them to improper fractions. So we're going to use Texas. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. So 3/4 times 3/4. When you're multiplying, you multiply straight across. So 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 4 is 16. Then if you can simplify, you would simplify, okay? Dividing's a little bit different. So if I have 3.5 divided by 1/2. Again, we're going to do Texas. So 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7 over 2. Oops, I put times. I meant divide, so sorry. We're dividing. So now that I'm dividing, I'm going to keep it, change it, flip it. So I'm keeping the first one, I'm changing it to multiplication, and I'm flipping this one. So 2 over 1. So 2 times 7 is 14, 1 times 2 is 2, 14 divided by 2 is 7. Okay, so that's just a quick review of operations with rational numbers. Let's get back to our review problems. Okay, so back to the review. Just so you know, I'm going to read the problems and help you text code a good number of them. But you do not have to work them in order. So you go in whatever order works best for you, because just like that with the test, do the problems you know how to do and you can get done quickly, and then you can go back and spend extra time on the problems that you struggle with. So let's get started with number 1. Number 1 says the temperature on the planet Mercury alternates depending on which side is lit by the sun. The sunlit side can reach up to 950.24 degrees Fahrenheit, and the dark side can drop as low as negative 346.47. What is the difference between the hottest and coldest temperature? So I am going to underline difference because that is what we are looking for. It's what the question's asking us for. Difference means what operation? It means to subtract. Okay, so we have 950 degrees and then we have a low of negative 346. So every time there's a temperature, I draw a number line. So let's see, we have 0 here. We have 950.24 degrees. And we have way down here, we have negative 346.47 degrees. So we are finding this difference here. So we have, this is just a point. This is just a point. So we have 950.24 and then it says difference. So we're subtracting negative 346.47. So I guess I'll help you guys get this one started. So 950.24 minus negative 346.47. So if you remember, we can't subtract with negatives. So make sure you add the opposite by drawing 2 lines. Again, you're adding and subtracting decimals, so make sure you line them up. Okay, so moving on to number 2. Number 2 says, a seamstress bought 17 1/4 feet of red silk fabric. She used 2 feet of the fabric to make a purse and 8.5 feet of the fabric to make a matching belt. How many feet of the fabric does she have left? Okay, so she bought 7 1/4. So we have this fabric piece here. That's, 17 1/4. She used means what? You're subtracting. So she used 2 feet. And she used 8.5 feet, right? How many feet does she have left? So left tells you we're going to do a specific operation. So left is that we had to subtract, right? We're taking how much she had and we're taking away what she used to find out the remaining piece, how much she had left. So go ahead and hit pause and solve that problem. All right, number 3. On a certain day, the temperature in New York City was -4 degrees Celsius, and the temperature in Austin was 36 degrees warmer. than it was in New York. What is the temperature in Austin? So again, we have our number line for temperature. So we have 0 here. And it says New York is -4 degrees. And then, so it was -4 degrees. In Austin, it was 36 degrees warmer. Well, warmer means the temperature is going up, right? And it went up by 36 degrees. It says, what is the temperature in Austin? So we want to know this new temperature here in Austin. Okay, so now to number 4. All right, it says triangle ABC is similar to triangle XYC. Which of the following statements is not true? So we are looking for not true. All right, so something to remember about similar shapes. So they have congruent angles. So angles that are in the same spot in the two triangles are equal, and they have proportional sides. Okay, so if we have triangle ABC is similar to XYC, so we know that AB is going to be corresponding to XY. All right, and so now we are going to just go through and find the not true. So this is saying angle ABC. So that's saying this angle right here is congruent to XYC. Okay. And so those are in the same location. So I would say yes, that's true. Okay. Let's look down here at D. So D says BC, which is this one here. And then YC corresponds to CX, and AC. Well, not quite right, because this one here was the big triangle. So we have the big triangle, and then we have the little triangle. So we need to have the big triangle first. So that one does not match. Let's look at this other one. So we have CY, so the yellow, and then CX, the red. Then we have CB, the yellow, CA, the red. That one looks good. Let's verify that B isn't wrong. Angle X is the same as angle A. Angle X is the same as angle A. That looks good too. All right, good. Let's keep going. Okay, so trapezoid RSTU is similar to ABCD. Okay, so in my class, we need to, these letters aren't quite right. So if we have A, B, C, D, then it's going to be T, U, R, S. So T, U, R, S. So if you're trying to use that to figure out the corresponding sides, then that's what you're going to do. All right. So it says DC. So that is the longest side. So I'm going to look for the longest side up here. So those are the corresponding sides. And we are looking for AD. So AD is this side. Okay,